and start working on our map for this month's adventure. I have 3 tables right here. These are my roll tables. To help me rain, I'm going to make this dungeon. These 3 roll tables are going to be pretty much used most months, which is why I printed them out. This one is specific for this month, and so a little bit about the adventure. I've got the mini painted, and it's a Shrouded Whisper is what the name of the creature is going to be. Shrouded Whispers in my world are kind of like Grim Reapers. They work for Narev, who's the goddess of death, and they collect souls to bring to the different planes based on when people die. So question number 1 is, where is this Shrouded Whisper going to be? So 1, it's going to be at the bottom of the sealed well. 2, it's going to be in a ruined shrine to Narev. 3, it's going to be beneath a hospice. 4, in a mausoleum. 5 is going to be inside of a canyon where the wind does not blow. 6 will be an unfinished bell tower. 7 will be a floating fragment of land. And then 8 would be the woods behind the funeral pyre that burned forever. And so I got these while spitballing and talking with ChatGPT. I actually like using chat. What I do though is I don't just say, hey, give me ideas. I talk to it like I'm talking with another person. I say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is where my thoughts are at right now. Here are my ideas. What do you think? And it gives me other ideas and whatnot. So let's find out where exactly this Shrouded Whisper is going to be located at. And it's going to be a 1, so it's going to be at the bottom of the sealed well. Okay, so the way I do things is I take a single piece of paper, that's a grid paper, I make the grid squares, these are 0.4 of an inch, 0.4 inch, 4/10 of an inch, 2/5, whatever you want to call it, right? And then that will fit onto one piece of paper. I break it up into 9 sections, and so now when it gets printed out, each section is getting printed out as its own piece of paper. But so we're going to go ahead and go with section number 1. We'll just zigzag it this way. So we're going to start out with what the rooms are. So on a 1, it's going to become 2 rooms. 2 through 7 is either going to be a room or a quote large room. And then on an 8, it's going to be, I'm going to use that section and the next one for 1 room total. So an 8. So those 2 rooms are together right here. It's a 6, which is 1 large room. And I go over the paper. And so, boom, we're going to make that one a large room. And I'm not connecting anything yet because I'm going to figure out the flow as we go, right? So that's 1 large room, right? A 5 is just 1 room. So boom, we're making it like that, so I can tell like this one is filling up that entire sheet, this one's not, right? Next room, a 2, which is another singular room. We have another 6, which is another large room. Okay, next room right here, 7, just 1 regular sized room. A 1, so that's going to be 2 rooms, right? So I'm going to make 2 rooms right there. And then another 1, so that's another 2 rooms. And so this is where things can get fun and interesting, is I don't know how these rooms are connecting to each other yet. Oh, not there yet. What's in each room? So this is the next thing, because number 8 is our boss, right? And that's a big one. We have to know where our boss is going to end up at. We're going to start right here. And that big room is a 1, so this is going to be a mob room. So that means there's going to be lots of monsters up in that room. let's see, a 2. So that's just going to be just some monsters. So it's going to be kind of like a mid-sized fight. Right here. 4 is going to be a hazard. So some type of trap or environmental hazard going on there, right? That was a 1, that was a 2, so this is a 4. That's our highest one so far. So we might end up putting our boss in there with that, though. I don't know that we haven't come across it yet. It's another mob room right here. I don't like mob rooms when they're in regular size rooms. Sorry, it's about the randomness of things. 2 is just some monsters again. Monsters. 3 is a trap of some type. So hazard is more natural, trap is more intentional. So that's probably something that the boss would have set themselves up with. That was a 6. And we have an NPC. Right, so somebody to give us a little social encounter in there. We have hazard. 5, a solo monster. And an 8, which is our boss in a small, tiny room. Now, this is one of my big things with this so far has been, or thinking about things, is this is kind of supposed to be giving me like a idea kind of what we're going to do. And I'm not going to lie, I don't like having the boss in this 2-room place, right? So I'm going to try and figure out how we can adjust this a little bit. Well, we have a trap right here, which is nice. If we take this, right, get rid of that monsters, and we're going to make this the boss. Right? Now this hazard, right, can become monsters. Right? And then what do we have? This boss here can become a hazard. Hazards aren't bad for these little tiny rooms, right? Nice little solo monster battle right here. Hazard, NPC, and we're good to go, right? And so now I'm kind of trying to figure out like the order of how we're going to do things. I don't want it to be super duper railroady. It's obviously going to be a little bit railroady though. So I'm wondering if this is how they get into the well. Well, right here, right? And then they can go from here to the solo monster. Solo monster up to these monsters. Monsters. Mob. To mob. And then where we can make things a little less linear, we can have a path that comes off from here. Into there. Into there. And into there. And so now your party can kind of avoid this hazard altogether. The party can avoid NPC. Maybe if you see or talk with the NPC, they're going to give you some important details about this trap that's coming up. And then we come up to there. I just realized that I don't have loot on this table. And that means that maybe I want to redo the table, maybe completely redo everything. No, I'm going to redo the table for next time. We'll leave it the way it is this time. Before next month, I'm going to redo this. So I'm going to put that note down. do add T-R-E-A-S-U-R-E, add treasure. So that would be important to it, right? That needs to kind of be there. Yeah, we're gonna leave it as it is, and we're gonna find. We'll figure out later maybe what room. Maybe later I'll figure out if we're gonna put a treasure in here or what we're gonna do. So, all right, threat levels of the room 1 through 8. Right. So here we go. We're gonna start right here. So 3. That's gonna be easy. Okay. This solo monster is gonna be easy as well. Monsters right here. Also going to be easy. Right here, 4. Finally bumping things up a little bit to medium. Our mob here. Let's go big. Hard, yeah. Hard mob right there. Now I'm looking at this right now, right? And I can definitely wonder if I should swap these two around. I can move things. It's not, again, these roll tables are meant to like kind of give inspiration. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put our mob there. We're gonna put a monster here. So monsters versus mob. Mob to me is going to be, 5 or more. That to me is a mob. Monsters to me is for 2, 3, or 4 monsters, right? So we did that one. That one was hard. That monster is medium. Those monsters are medium. 4 is another medium. Not bad right there. NPC, you don't really need to look at things from that perspective, right? On how hard that social encounter is going to be. 3, this is going to be easy. Okay, trap right here. It's going to be another easy. And I don't roll for the boss. That's the boss fight. That is going to be a deadly encounter. So I was thinking about this right after I rolled hazard here. And this is something that I might put in the document, but not put on the map, right? I'm gonna put it on my rough sketch right here, though, right? Is maybe there is some type of secret passage from this hazard room over there, right? And so they could bypass that trap. And if we're going to do that, maybe we should up this from easy to hard, right? Okay. And then maybe what we say is NPC can tell PCs about passage can be found without NPC help, right? And so now kind of sort of got the flow of things ready for me to go. So I've got this, my grid paper, one of the things that I did on it. I counted out each square so I could fold this paper. Give it a little bit of a fold, so it's going to give me my 9 sections. Don't want or need a massively huge crease. So each piece of paper ends up being 6 by 8 grid. And when you print this, squares end up being greater than 1 by 1. Got to give credit where credit's due. Wylock in his early days talked about using grids that are more than 1 inch by 1 inch. And even though he has grown away from it, there's still some things that I like about it. I like that it allows me for like some odd shaped rooms a little bit more. So we're good to go here. This first room is going to be our easy room where the party's going to enter our dungeon. Doesn't really need to be all that big. I'm going to make it just this kind of 2x3. That would allow 3 PCs on in here. We're going to come on down. They're going to come down to fight a solo monster right here. And now this one of the things that I think about a lot while I'm drawing my maps and figuring stuff out is like how big does this need to be, right? So this is going to be a solo monster in this room, right? And so we need to have, let's say, 5 PCs plus 1 monster. Let's make him a large, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's our monster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're all right. But we definitely want to leave some room for like our archers to be able to take pop shots at that monster. We want to be able to give our spellcasters some room to not have to be engaged super hard with the fight. And so there we go. That's a decent sized room right there. Hallway can come on up. Yeah, we'll leave that just like that. That's good. Now we have our little passage through here, and we're going to make an average sized room. And so for me, when I do an average sized room for these dungeons, what I'm looking at is leaving some space and not filling up the entire section with the room. And boom. Right to about there. Now we have a room that we need to completely fill. And again, so this is a mob room. And again, that's one of the things that we need to think about. Right, so we have our 5 players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we have plenty of room for a mob. Right? Monsters, and this is going to be a large room. So for me, when I say a large room, I am pretty much going to take up that entire section of this map, leaving very little room for a passageway. Let's go on to our next room, which here we're going to kind of sort of have like this room and large room kind of sort of, or the hallway and the large room kind of sort of go together. And again, our hallway can be about like that. And the nice thing about our mob being in this double-sized room is we definitely have plenty of room for this mob to be in. That's, I think, a little bit harder actually. I almost made it so that the party could sneak right through and past this, and this is one of our hard counters. So we really don't want to make it that easy for them to get through. So let's make it right there. I really like that fish look-like thing. There we go. Boom. To there. Let's open this up just a little bit more then. Right. So that we can have enemies mess with our PCs easier or better. Another medium-sized room with a boss. This one. Take it down to here. Boom. Again, just medium size. I have to fill up our whole sheet here. I'm going to make this passageway start out kind of big, actually, right to there, right to there. here, and then we can come here. So there's some weird noise that went on, so I cut, but then the noise came back. Rather than cutting this big of a section, I just cut down the my voiceover that I was doing. And I'm just fiddling around, trying to make adjustments so that I can have kind of this weird four-way intersection that the PCs pretty much have a choice on which way they want to go. They could end up going to talk to an NPC, going straight to a trap, or into this weird hazard room. Right. So, boom. That's there. Erase that. There. Pencil's gotten dull on me. Here. We have our trap room, which I need to make a little bit more circular. Alright, so I recorded this middle of the day at the house. Up until this point, my kids did absolutely amazing and were quiet, but this is the point where they decided they were going to go ahead and start becoming loud. So just a different form of voiceover here. Just got done drawing the pathway from the trap room on up and into the main chamber where the boss fight would be happening at. And so I'm pretty much done now with the map, just kind of sort of going through, doing a little bit of touch-up stuff on the outline. From here, what I do is I go through and I color everything, and that's what you're going to see here now. And this is the map for the dungeon. I hope you guys like it. Do me a favor, give me a follow so that you can help me become better. Go onto my Patreon and try and support me there as well, as I produce mini adventures every month, and give this video a like, share it with some people who might enjoy it. Thank you very much.